I talked to the family, or I talked to Cliven, the father, the main rancher, last night from my home here in Dallas. And I shared a little bit of this with him, but I want to do something quite bizarre and something that I've never, ever thought I would do, but I think is really important because this guy is a Mormon and a devout Mormon. I mean, I talked to him about prayer and everything else last night, and I believe he is a praying man. I'm not sure if he is interpreting the same things that the way I would, but he is a praying man. And I asked him last night, I said, have you read Doctrine and Covenants, section 121 and 122? What these are the writings of Joseph Smith and the latter presidents of our church. And it documents what they were going through at the time. And there are great lessons in them. And section 122, or 121 and 122, are when Joseph Smith is in jail, in the Liberty Jail in Missouri. And he has been in jail for 4 months. And I mean, we're not talking about a jail like us. This is squalor. And they're being taunted, and their children and their families are under attack, and people are burning their houses down. I mean, it's really bad. And at one point, he says, and if I can quote, "Oh God, where are you? Where is the pavilion that covers my hiding place? How long shall your hand be stayed? And thine eye, yea, thy pure eye, belongs from the eternal heavens. The wrongs of thy people and thy servants and thy ear be penetrated with their cries." So in other words, how long are we going to have to cry out to you? How long? We've had our farms taken. We have had our possessions taken. Our children have been molested. Some people have lost their lives. They have burned down our stuff because we are worshiping you the way we see it. And people, we're being chased from state to state. Now remember, in Missouri, it is now legal, at this time, it is legal to kill a Mormon. It's the only extermination order ever in existence of the United States. What we did to the Japanese, we put them in an internment camp. Really, really horrible. This was making killing a Mormon legal only because they're a Mormon. The reason why it was happening in Missouri is because Missouri Compromise. It was the height of the slavery argument. And Missouri could not go to the abolitionists, and the Mormons were abolitionists. He says, how long shall our people suffer these wrongs and unlawful oppressions before your heart is softened towards them and your bowels move with compassion towards them? O Lord God Almighty, maker of heaven, earth, and seas, and all the things that are in, you control all of these things. Stretch forth your hand, let your eye pierce. Let thy pavilion be taken up, let thy hiding place no longer be covered, let your ear be inclined, let your heart be softened. Okay, so he is pleading, please. Now here's the most amazing thing I've ever read in my life. It goes on for about 2 pages where he's saying about all the things that we have endured. And here is what God responds. If you are called to pass through tribulation, if you are in perils among false brothers, if you're in peril among robbers, if you're in peril by land or by sea, if you are accused with all manner of false accusations, if your enemies fall upon you, if they tear you from society of your father and mother and brothers and sisters, if with a drawn sword your enemies tear thee from the bosom of your wife and your offspring and your elder son, although only 6 years of age, he shall cling to your garments and say, my father, why can't you stay with us? Oh, my father, what are the men going to do with you? If then you shall be thrust by the sword and dragged into prison, and your enemies prowl around thee like wolves for the blood of lambs. If you be cast into the pit or the hands of murderers and the sentence of death passed on to you, you can be cast into the deep if the billowing surge conspire against thee, if fierce winds become your enemy, if the heavens gather blackness, and if the elements combine to hedge up your way, and above all, if the very jaws of hell shall gape open the mouth wide after thee. Know that all these things I give to you for experience, and they will be for your good. Listen to this condemnation. The Son of Man hath descended below all of these things. Are you greater than he? Therefore, hold on thy way, and your priesthood shall remain with you. For the bounds are set, and they cannot pass. Thy days are known, and thy years shall not be numbered less. Therefore, fear not what man can do, for God shall be with you forever and ever. Now, I read that Saturday morning, and I thought to myself, here is a rancher who is in real peril. He is in real peril. He is losing everything, and he is thinking about his country and his Constitution and the rights not only of him, but the rights of all mankind. Because I have news for you. If the United States of America goes under, it is not your rights. Those should be the last rights you worry about. It is the right of all mankind that will be lost, because we are the only ones protecting those rights. And you're starting to see that all across the world. As the United States gets weaker, the dictators grow stronger. As we lose our way, the rest of the world falls into darkness. What do you think the people in Ukraine feel right now? Why do you think Russia could go into Ukraine? Because we are weak. Forget about your rights. What about the rights of everyone all around the world? What about the rights of your children and the rights of your grandchildren and the grandchildren of all the people all over the world that will lose them because we lose our way? We've lost our way. But it shall be for our good if the very gates of hell open up. It will be for our good. Violence is never the answer. Taking the law into your own hands is never the answer. There is a reason Martin Luther King did what he did. A, because Jesus, Gandhi, Bonhoeffer, and King were right. Peace is the answer. But there's also method to the madness, and Gandhi talked about it. Martin Luther King knew that if you put good versus evil on a television screen, in Western society, the people will choose good. Did they choose Occupy Wall Street? Look at the coverage that Occupy Wall Street got. Look at how people in the media fawned over Occupy Wall Street. How the celebrities came out, supported it. Did it grow? No. Because our fellow men and women in the United States of America have still, no matter what anybody wants to say, pretty good judgment on them. When it comes to a movement that says your rights are being lost. There were lots of people, in fact, some of the same people, that were saying, you know what, I'm going to go with them because they're right. The rights are lost. Yes, but their tactics are wrong. The people that are involved had lost their way. Martin Luther King knew that if you take a bunch of people and they release dogs and they release and open up fire hoses, the people will see it and reject it. It is no longer 1840. It is 2014. People will see it and they'll see it instantly. As people see others gather around and taunt and poke their fingers and act like Occupy Wall Street to federal officials and federal officers, if they see that on television, I am telling you now, you will lose the battle. God help us, because we will lose the war.